Hello everyone, welcome back to Cooking with Donna. Today we're going to be making up an apple crisp. Just because it's getting cold and the fall weather just does something to me. I mean it does it with everybody. It sets that mood for you for baking. You know, smelling all of the spices, and like yesterday I went and got me some of those plug-ins, those apple cinnamon ones, just to have that fall smell in the air. I know a lot of you know what I'm talking about, but anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Here I have 6 cups of Granny Smith apples. I cut them fairly thin, maybe a quarter. No, they're a little bit bigger than a quarter. It just depends. I'm making mine in a cast iron. Do preheat your oven to 350. I'm using my 10.5-inch cast iron, but you can use your 9x9. Whatever you have. Just mine is, I have well, the one I'm using is a 10.5, but like I said, you can use the 9x9, the 8x8, but just make sure you set it on a cookie sheet when you're baking it, because you don't want, you know, the spillovers. Okay, so 6 cups of Granny Smith apples. To that I'm going to add 1/2 cup. Well, actually I want to get my, here I have 4 tablespoons of brown butter, and I have a teaspoon of vanilla mixed right in with it. Now your brown butter, you're just going to get 4 tablespoons of real butter. Now this recipe, guys, please use real butter, because like on your crisp topping, if you use margarine, anything like that, it carries a lot of water in it, so your crisp topping is not going to be the same. So I highly suggest use real butter when you make an apple crisp. And just put your butter in a pan, just a regular old pan. Keep swirling it. Now when you hear the sizzling slowing down and you see a bunch of foam, keep an eye on it, because once that starts browning, it's going to brown quick. And those milk solids will start sticking to the bottom, and you don't want it to burn, because if it burns, you got to start over. So once it starts browning, take it off, pour it into another container or something, because it's going to continue to cook once you take it out. So that's 4 tablespoons of melted brown butter and 1 teaspoon of vanilla right over those apples. Get it all out of there. Okay, now I'm just going to give this a stir. Make sure I say stir. There's so many times where I want to say stir it up. Stir it up. Who else says it that way? I know I ain't the only one. Okay. That butter and that vanilla smells so good. Now I have a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Okay. And I have 4 tablespoons of regular sugar. I have in here 1 good-sized teaspoon of cinnamon, and maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. That over there. Get that all out of there. Moisture. And I have 1 good-sized tablespoon of good old all-purpose flour. Now we're just going to mix this up. This is almost 3 pounds of apples, about 6 cups of apples. Get this all mixed up. This house is fixing to smell good. Okay, we got that mixed up. Now we're going to get to our topping. Alright, got my butter out. Now make sure your butter is nice and cold, guys. And remember, real butter is what makes a good crisp. But I haven't cut this in little pieces. I'm going to have to do that. But in my bowl, now make sure you properly measure, guys. Don't go in and do this and then do this, and then pour it in your bowl, because that's not proper measure, because you've got it packed. You have more in there than you need. So fluff up that flour. If you have to, put a tablespoon in. Scoop it in with a tablespoon, and then level it off with a kitchen knife. Because by you pressing it, if you're, you know, you're still packing it. So lightly fluff it up, and we're going to do 2 cups of all-purpose flour. All right. So there's our flour. Where's my top? Okay, now get this out of the way. Scoot this back over here. I'm gonna have to get my butter cut up, guys. But I have 5 tablespoons of sugar and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. There. Now I do use salted butter, but with that salted butter, still needs just a little bit more. But if you don't want it, don't use it. And we're just gonna get this stirred up. And then we'll get our butter cut in. This is some good stuff. And now it's not low calorie, let me tell you. Because we're going with a cup of cold butter. And we're just going to cut this in little pieces. And then we're going to break it all up to like little coarse crumbs. And then if I need a little bit of water, or not water, milk, I'll add a little bit of milk in here to help with the clumping, because that's what crisp is. You want little clumps here and there, but you want to work fast with this butter. This butter you want to be really cold, because if you put soft butter in here and you try mixing this up with soft butter, you're going to have a mess. You're going to have like a biscuit dough. So cold is key for a good crisp. I know, you guys, I know. I should have had this butter cut up already. But I'll just keep going and get this done. My oven's already ready. Okay. Now, just kind of toss it, coat all that flour. Now use your pastry cutter, or some knives, or some forks. But what's important here is to coat all of your flour. You want to coat all of that flour with the butter, because if you have any flour that doesn't have any fat on it, you're just basically have flour laying on top. So make sure all of your flour is coated with that fat. That's what makes a good crisp. But I'll get this where I want it, guys, and we'll be back. Okay, guys, I got that all mixed up. Now, if it starts getting too warm in your house, just kind of put it in the freezer right quick to firm up that butter again. Okay, I want a little bit more clumping, so 1 tablespoon at a time, just drizzle it over of milk, and then get you a fork, and then just kind of, you don't want to start squeezing at this point. Keep your hands out of the bowl. Okay, there's one. Let's do another. Just make sure it's cold, guys. That's very important. Cold. Okay, 2 tablespoons is good. That's what I'm looking for. See there? See those little clumps you have in there? Here we go. some of it's still some butter. You don't got to get every bit of that butter, but all of it's coated. All the flour's coated with some fat. Okay. Now I have my 10.5-inch skillet here. Like I said, you can use a, whatever you have. But you do want this to bake at least 40 minutes. Now, if you cut your apples real thick, it's going to take longer. But that's why I like cast iron, because it cooks evenly and it cooks quick. So, and if your ovens, please keep an eye on, if your ovens cook hot, cook this at 325. If they cook, not hot enough, kick it up to 375. But just keep an eye on it, because all of our ovens are different. But you don't want your topping to get brown real quick and then your apples ain't done. So at least 40 minutes. But I have my skillet, my cast iron, lightly buttered. I'm gonna pour my apples. Can you guys see? Yeah. Brown butter and that cinnamon. Vanilla, it smells so good. And I like to kind of get it all out. I like to kind of pat my apples down. That way none of my my crisp falls through the crevices and sucks up all the juice. So I try to pat them down like so. And now we'll get our crisp on top. Okay. Now I like a lot of crisp on mine. I don't know about y'all, but if it seems like it's too much, don't use it all. And put this on a cookie sheet, guys, for overspills in the oven. We know how that goes. We all have our favorite way of eating this. Mine's with a hot cup of coffee or a cold glass of milk. Okay, I have a little bit left. I think that's enough crisp. Now, if I would have used a bigger pan, I would have used all that crisp, but that's good. All right, guys. She's going in the oven. Ta-da! There it is, guys. I wanted to set the mood for y'all. But mine cooked 45 minutes. I know them apples are nice and tender. Another thing I wanted to bring up, a lot of people put oats in theirs. I'm not a fan of oats in my crisp, so if you want to put oats, it will change the texture of the crisp because it's going to absorb more moisture, so your crisp is not going to come out the same. So this one is without oatmeal. I just heads up on that. If anybody says she forgot the oatmeal, I don't put oatmeal in mine. But I wanted, like I said, I wanted to jump on and share it with you guys. And I know you're wanting me to cut in this so you guys can see what it looks like. Let me get a little bowl. It's still piping hot. Now please let this cool a good 20 minutes or so before you guys dive in. Don't want nobody burning themselves. Listen. That crisp is nice and crisp. Guys, you can see that. Look at that, guys. See those apples? And that crisp on top. Can you see that? I got terrible lighting in this kitchen. It's nice and golden, but in the picture it doesn't look like it. Let me taste this. Oh yeah. I'm glad. Ooh, it's hot. I have some good stuff, you guys. But please give it a try, y'all. My God, that's good. I hope you enjoy it. Until next time, you guys stay safe out there, and God bless, and we will see you later. And as always, get me out there, guys. Please share and subscribe. See you guys later, and have a wonderful day.